and things that you might not notice right away, and even a couple of things that are a little bit annoying. But overall, I would say I'm really happy with this. We got it for emergency uses and home uses like inflating pool inflatables and bicycle tires and stuff. But we got it because the price. It's just super, super price. So even a couple of annoying things don't really matter because the price is so good. So some of the things I really liked and appreciate the most, number one, it's got a flashlight on it. And just by the way, that's going to be your on. Now it's not plugged in right now, but that's going to be your on. And then that's off in the middle. And then the top is not high. It's on and light. So just a heads up, it does have a light and it's really cool. All right, the other things I really appreciate about it, it's really simple. I mean, there's only 3 buttons. This is going to be just whether you're looking at the pressure, like is it PSI or the other options, and then this is just plus and minus. You can set it, and then it'll stop whenever it reaches its goals. And so really simple, anybody can use it. All right, now for the things that I like, and then some of the things I think could have been a little bit better. This right here, I wish it was about 4 or 5, 6 inches longer, and I understand that it had to wrap in here and fit. So it's long enough for my car, but if I had like a big truck with big wheels, I would appreciate a little bit more length. Now, speaking of good length, the power portion of it is pretty good. It's almost 12 feet long, and I also really appreciate the fact that the cavity that all this goes in is larger than necessary. It's probably 35% larger than is needed. Sometimes they make these things so tight and they're so proud that everything fits in so small, but it's impractical and you're sitting there with cold hands on the side of the road. You can't get it all back in. Not the case here. You can just wad it all up and throw it back in there. I'll do that in a second. But I like that this cavity is big enough. So this is like almost 12 feet long, this cord, which is plenty good because it's got to reach from your plug, which mine's in the trunk, all the way to the front tires, and it's plenty good. Another thing I will mention is it comes with an extra fuse, and it took me a while to figure out where that fuse goes because I haven't used one of these in a while. So when you're on the side of the road and it's necessary to know, that's not the time to try to find a fuse. So if this thing stops working and it's the fuse's fault, it's built in here at the end, and you just screw it in. You can do that by hand. So there you go. I like that about that. All right, some of the things I liked as well are these adapters. There's 2 air nozzles. This is a larger hole and this is a smaller hole. That's for like pool floats and things like that. Then there's like a basketball pump needle. And then I didn't figure out until I looked deeply at the pictures, but the needle goes inside this nozzle and clips in. Then this nozzle clips in. That's really cool that it's all there. One thing that was kind of annoying is this is that Presta Schrader adapter. So the car adapter, the valve, or sorry, not the adapter, the valve stem on your car is a Schrader. It's large. That's what this is going to easily fit over. And most of our bikes growing up, that's what you had. But if you've ever had like a higher end bicycle, you have these smaller valve stems. Those are called Prestas. They have their benefits and their drawbacks, but this is the adapter for that. So I wish there was a spot to put it in here somewhere, but there's not. But since it's only used on bicycles, I'm just going to put it in my bicycle repair kit. Not the end of the world, but it would have kind of been cool if it would have been fitting in there. All right, the other thing they give me is an extra fuse, and there's no spot for the fuse anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to roll that up, fold over the corners, give it some good padding, and I'm going to tape this to the wire so that it's there. Because when you need this, you're probably going to be on the side of the road. And so what I've done, and I'm going to do, is tape that up, and then I'm going to tape it pretty close to the end of this, about 1 inch off. And again, that's not ideal, but that's what I'm going to do, because if I throw it in the glove box, I'll forget it's there. If I tape it on the back side of this somewhere, it's going to probably break because it won't be protected. So I feel like this little baggie is going to protect it, but that's my plan. And so again, if this thing stops working and you're out in the cold or the rain, just check the fuse on that. So I appreciate the fuse, the extra fuse. I wish there would have been a really nice, safe spot to clip it. And if there is, maybe they can spotlight it for us, but I didn't see that. So not a big deal. I'd still buy it, but it's just kind of an annoyance on the design. Okay, so other than that, spots for everything else. You know what I'd say? It feels like it's light to medium weight as far as construction. It does not feel terrible, but you know, some of the endings, these don't feel highly professional, like super duper, like you're going to be a professional and you're going to be using this on a daily basis. I would probably go out and invest big time money in the proper expensive tool. But if you're using this like me, this is for emergencies. This is for pool inflatables. It's for bicycles. I mean, this is fantastic. And again, I can't stress it enough. The price on this thing is absurdly cheap. So I got one of these for the electric car and one of them for our Ford gas car, and I could not be happier with it. Now let me show you how nicely it all packs back in there. So I'm going to just start to wad this back up, and I'm going to intentionally not do a fantastic job. I'm just going to kind of grab it, kind of like you would in real life, not trying to make it look pretty. Just going to wad it all up. I'm going to shove it back in this hole. And again, I appreciate that the hole is more than big enough. Grab that, throw it in there, plenty big. Then this just slides back in the grooves. And voila.